Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA with me, Seamus Brady and Luke Payton. In this video, we are going to give a match review of Mayo's fantastic victory over Kildare in the qualifiers by 213 to 14 points in Croke Park. Mayo booked their place in the All-Ireland quarterfinals for another year. Late goals from Oisin Mullen and a wonder goal, really, if he meant it, by Jordan Flynn propel Mayo back into the quarterfinals. Kildare are out of the championship, back-to-back defeats to Dublin, and Mayo brings an end to their year. Luke, were you impressed by Mayo in this one?
Not really. No, I think I think they just about got over the line. I think they were helped a bit by Kildare, that they were behind for large parts of it as well. But look, it's kind of classic Mayo here, in that they've done this in previous years as well, that they haven't really impressed at all in the qualifier route, but have grounded out results like that. They've only just about got over the line against teams that they have way more quality than, and like they just seem to make things difficult for themselves. And look, they looked in big trouble for large parts of this game. And look, there was a phase when Kildare was 6 points up in the second half, and they looked in big trouble. But yeah, look, they found a way, and look, they were probably helped a little bit by Kildare's naivety, I suppose, mostly. But look, they found a way, and yeah, look, that Oisin Mullen goal was absolutely key, and that came at the absolute time that they needed it. And look, that was probably the winning of the game as well. And then look, soon followed as well. They managed to raise themselves to the big moments as well, and to put the pressure on Kildare. Like we all saw what happened, like the kickouts as well to get with Aaron O'Neill. That was just from Mayo pressure, and they punished the two loose kickouts, and look, ultimately stretched the lead. And then the goal came soon after as well at the end, which just put the cherry on top. The game was pretty much dead at that stage anyway as well, though. So yeah, look, it's job done for Mayo, but like they won't be overly happy with the performance, and they will know that level won't be good enough when they come up against I'd imagine nearly all the provincial winners, I'd say.
Yeah, and where necessarily did it go wrong? You mentioned there the kickouts, but of course Kildare, as you mentioned, 6 points in front at one point. They were ahead at halftime by 8 points to 5. Jimmy Hyland was hitting the scores as well as we thought he would. Kevin O'Callaghan and Kevin Feely were doing bits as well for Kildare. And then, the wheels just kind of came off for them. Obviously, Mayo had a part to play in that with the kickouts. But do you think the Kildare kind of let themselves down as well, maybe?
Yeah, I do. I think it's actually the same issue from the Dublin game, that the shot selection is absolutely terrible, and that they just have the players have free reign to just have a go whenever they want. There's no attempt to work it into the scoring areas and stuff. And the conversion rate, like the Dublin game, is really low. And look, when the game was there to be killed off, that stage when they needed to just keep the scoreboard ticking, like those wides really came back to haunt them then at that stage. And then Mayo kind of went up and punished them as well. On the other hand, and like the other thing as well, look, the Oisin Mullen goal wasn't defended very well whatsoever. Like you can even say the goalie maybe dived out of the way of the shot too as well. So look, all of this was avoidable. And yeah, I think, look, I know that the management team have been bigged up kind of as like it's an X factor kind of lineup, I suppose, with all the legends of Kildare. But I think they've a bit to learn themselves, kind of, because they've gone into some really big games in a very naive kind of fashion. And yeah, look, it's year one for them, but look, I think there's a lot of lessons for them to take from this as well. And look, I'd imagine they'll come back next year a bit more pragmatic than what we saw this year, because look, they had a decent enough league campaign spells. I know they're relegated, but they played some decent football at some stages. But look, in championship, they played the same way, and look, they just got carved open in championship, like particularly by Dublin. Like what Dublin did to them was unfair, really. So yeah, look, I think a lot to learn from a Kildare perspective, anyway.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this year, in my opinion, is the least amount of hype around the Mayo team that I've seen for a long time. I mean, there seems to be, on paper, I mean, they made it to a league final, but since they made that league final, everything's gone downhill. I mean, losing to Kerry the way they did in that league final, then they were beaten by Galway and Connacht. They beat this Kildare side, and no one really seems to be giving them any credit for it. I mean, it was a Kildare side that were in Division 1. Mayo did get the victory, but you are right, they didn't play to the level that they can. do you think that the lack of hype around them actually could serve them probably better in the long run for championship and everything like that? Because, I mean, last year, in my opinion, they treated that semi-final against Dublin like it was the All-Ireland final. They acted like they didn't have another game to play. And, like, do you think that maybe with no hype on them this season, that maybe they can take a scalp in the quarterfinals and maybe they can have a better run at the All-Ireland than they would in years when there's been a lot of hype around them?
Yeah, look, it is hard to know because, like, if they were to draw Galway or Derry, you just know with the nature of Mayo that's going to be a one-score game. And that, look, if they get one of them, I think they have a good chance of getting through it, that they just tend to win those games sometimes as well. I know they beat Dublin last year, but you look at where Dublin are at in comparison to last year and where Mayo are at in comparison to last year too. I can't see Mayo beating Dublin right now. And then, look, based off the league final, like, Mayo were like a country mile off Kerry, and look, you can arguably say as well that Mayo team's even weaker now than what it was in the league final with Ryan O'Donoghue injuries and stuff like that as well. So I wouldn't give them much of a chance now against Kerry, definitely, and probably not against Dublin either. But look, if they can get a bit of luck in the draw and get a Galway or Derry, look, they can easily work their way through into a semi-final. And then, look, as we've already kind of talked about earlier, draw on the handier side of the draw. And look, we could be yet seeing them in an All-Ireland final still.
Yeah, never write Mayo off from sneaking into yet another All-Ireland final. It'd be very interesting to see. And of course, if they do that, it will once again be their third All-Ireland final in a row, which would be absolutely insane. I mean, they snuck into the finals, in my opinion, in 2020 and in 2021, apart from obviously that victory over Dublin in last year's semi-final. But, like, looking into this now, yeah, with Mayo, look, I'm not expecting too much from them. Like you said, the injury to Ryan O'Donoghue, I think, is crippling to them. He's been their absolute chief score getter, especially with Cillian O'Connor's injury. I thought he was sensational for Mayo last year. His injury is massive. And yeah, with Kildare, playing as naive as they are, and the fact that Mayo took so long to put them away, I think if they get a Kerry or a Dublin in the quarterfinals, I think that's it for them. But if they get the other side of the draw, I would never write them off making yet another All-Ireland final. So, guys, that is the match review here on Play on GAA. We hope you enjoyed. Until the next one, guys, take care.